Well, hey,
Well, hey,
how was your week?
it's good. I see that we're sort of matching again
Oh my
tonight.
gosh, we are. I
We
just noticed
never
that.
plan it, but it's like my pants almost go with your shirt. And
Yes.
anyway,
And well, no, I don't have on my Birks tonight.
close though.
Normally I do.
Great
How neat
minds
is
think
that?
alike.
We've matched,
Almost every
yeah,
episode.
maybe last week. I don't know if we did.
I
I don't
think
remember.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
No,
yeah,
we
we did
didn't
not
last
plan
week.
that.
Yeah,
How funny.
but definitely great minds.
Yeah. And we've got our tahine tonight.
That's right, and it's so good.
We're mixing it up.
We got this mix, and I don't know if you guys drink margs. We sure do, but it's called Filthy. And actually, someone gave it to me for my birthday. They gave me these little packets of it, and I think you can buy them in boutiques. I think they're at the place in Hoover that we
Like-
like.
Whole Foods?
No, it's at a boutique.
Oh, Rhapsody?
Yep.
Okay.
And so I think I've seen them there before.
Interesting. I would have never thought that.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they've got a cute little bar set and all that. But
Well, gosh, I was just in there.
I think that's
yesterday.
where I saw them.
I'll have to look next time I
But
go
I'm
in there.
not sure. Well, another friend of mine gave me those for my birthday
Yeah.
because she knows I love margarita.
Well, these taste a lot like the ones that we drink when we go to our
Mm-hmm.
Mexican restaurant.
Yes. And I was going to tell you that my car automatically goes there. And tonight I almost turned and went there. So we're overdue.
Yeah, we're way overdue. We were talking about that earlier. We've got to go back. Mm-hmm. And then lick on the rim like I do. Usually,
Yes.
though, when we're there, I drink out of a straw.
I hardly ever do. Number one, I'm vain. And I hate to drink out of a straw because I don't want those little lines around my mouth.
Yes, I've
I'm not
heard it
sure.
does that. I've heard
I'm
it
not
does
sure
that.
how much that
Yeah.
actually happens, but they look like smoker lines, and so
Yeah.
I won't do it. But I love to drink a marg out of the glass so I can lick the salt or the tahine. So.
Yeah. Well, I have heard that about the straws. I've got a friend who never, and I heard her say this probably 10 years ago. She never drinks out of a straw.
Yeah.
Because of the lines it would make. And I had not heard that before her, but
Yes.
at this point, I don't know that it would matter for me, but I do like drinking out of a straw, so I don't care.
Yeah. Well, you don't have lines.
Yeah, well.
But I haven't drank out of a straw. Now, if I go through a drive-through and I'm driving or whatever and they've got a straw, I'm going to drink through a
Yeah.
straw. But I don't make it a habit. And I've probably been doing it for like 20 years, I guess. Like people always say, oh, never mind, you don't drink out of a straw.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
these, like we said, they're a little bit limey, like where we go to get our margarita. So this has been our favorite so far. Of course, we don't really take a lot of time putting our margaritas together anyway. I just
Yeah.
kind of throw stuff or we buy something, bottled. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's what we had tonight at tahine. So
Yeah.
if we start talking strange later, it's because our lips are dry. Because mine get really dry when I have tahine on the
Yeah.
rim.
But no, there is no bad day, right, with a margarita. So,
True.
well, what have you been up to this week?
So this week, what have I done? Not much. I had friends. I had dinner with friends last night. Mm-hmm. We went and got Mexican, actually. Well, if you call Taco Mama Mexican, but I did not get a margarita. And then I got a facial earlier this week. And that's really been about it. But I might go out of town. I haven't told you yet, so it'll kind of mess up our schedule. But I might be going out of town with Jeffrey.
Oh, nice.
So he's going out west because his company is sponsoring something, and there's going to be some trail rides, and he wants to take his new car out there.
Okay.
Which, okay, listen, there's a trail where we live a few miles down. I don't want to say it out loud, but you may know where it is, kind of past the school. So, I don't know, like a month ago, he took me out. He said, let's go riding down that trail. But, okay. No, it's nothing major. I mean, it's got some ruts.
It does.
Depending on, which road you go down. But I was a nervous wreck because I felt like he was going too fast, or he was like, I thought we were going to have a flat tire, which his vehicle was kind of made for that. But I just, you can't just go full, full force down those roads. So anyway, I'm a little bit nervous about going out west because it's in Moab, and those trails are no joke.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I am going out there because I always have fun. It's so pretty out there.
Yeah.
And, I'm just like, I might as well go while I can.
Yeah.
If I can get somebody to take care of my dog.
Well, I've never been out
Moab?
there. No, and I would love to do it. But the trail that you're talking about, I've been down it many times in my car. So, but I thought I was going to have a flat tire because those ruts are
Some of them are
horrible.
bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I didn't want to get stuck. Plus, it was later in the afternoon, so if we would have gotten stuck, it would have been dark. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I ever told you this. When I went out with him like 2 years ago, when we were out in March at like an RX3 convention. Anyway, I kept texting my kids because Marshmallow was going to be there. That's how you pronounce his name, right? Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Well, I must have called Brooklyn or something, or she called me. And I was like, yeah, so, Marshmallow's going to be here. He's the one that sings the song Happier. And she was like, Mom, he's a DJ. He doesn't sing. And this whole time, all these years, I thought he was an artist and that he sang that song Happier. And so I was like, well, I guess that does make sense if he's got on a marshmallow helmet. I don't know how he would much sing, but that's just, listen, I should have been born in the boomer age.
Well, look, we are 50 years old
50
plus, doing 50 plus stuff.
That's
'Cause,
right.
My kids make fun of me, but
You probably knew that, though. Did you know he was a DJ?
I didn't know his role in that song, but I knew he didn't sing because he's got that big,
Not me.
like, block thing on his head. He looks like a Lego.
Yeah, he does. And then sure enough, all night long, he just was up there, had his little DJ at his table, just playing music.
Just living his
not
best
singing.
life.
Not singing. So, anyway. But, yeah.
So, should we get him on our podcast?
I wonder if we could do that. I'm sure he would be right on that.
He would just be sitting over here not saying a word. Well,
Yeah, but other than that, I've just kind of been hanging out here. Usually, I try to go visit my parents. Haven't done that. Just running errands and all that. Which, speaking of errands, did I tell you about, I don't want to say the name of the store because people around here would know, and then I don't want them going in there if they even did. But did I tell you about me going into the store wearing that Alanis Morissette shirt?
No.
So I love Alanis Morissette. I don't know if you ever listened to her a lot. Did you?
A little bit.
I know
but,
she's not
But
really-
I know you're a huge fan and
Yeah.
you've been to her concert and all
So
of
Jeffrey
that.
and I went to her concert when she came
Yeah.
in town
A few
couple
years ago.
So anyway, I got a shirt. So I had it on when I went to the store. I needed to go get some paint or something. And, a lady was working in there. She was at the register, and I had on my shirt, and I was about to leave, and she said, "Oh, you like Alanis Morissette?" And I was like, "Yes, I love her. Like, she's one of my favorites." She's like, "Oh yeah, I love her too." And like, she's just going on and on and on about her. Well, ironically, I was listening to her when I was going to the store, and so I think the last song was "Hand in My Pocket" before I got out of the car. So I told the lady that. I was like, yeah, I was actually just listening to "Hand in My Pocket." Now, mind you, she's supposed to be this mega fan,
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, I was just listening to, wait, did I tell her now? This is why I don't tell stories, because I say it wrong. Anyway, at some point, now it's not going to be funny. She said, maybe I said I was listening to her on the way, and she said, oh yeah. She's like, I love that song, "Hand in My Back Pocket." And I know I was probably just looking at her trying to not laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, "Hand in my back pocket." Okay, you're a real big fan. But that is something stupid, I would say.
And it's the chorus.
Exactly.
It's not, she says
"Hand
it
in my back pocket."
multiple times throughout. It's like, pour some saccharin on me and stuff.
Exactly.
It's in the chorus.
Right.
Like she
Over and over.
says it over and over.
Yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love that song, "Hand in My Back Pocket." And then, of course, after I left, I just was dying laughing the whole way.
Oh, my
I can't believe I
goodness.
forgot to tell you that.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Well, I've had a busy couple of weeks, which I know, I told you about that, but, went to the beach and then went to a work trip, was home for a couple of days, was supposed to go to the lake with some friends for a birthday party that was on, then it was
Oh,
off.
I don't know if I knew that.
No, this was kind of a more of a last minute thing, but it was like it was on, then it was off, then it was on again, then it was off. And so I ended up going hiking Saturday morning and then left Monday for another work trip. Just got back yesterday afternoon. And it was a great trip. Thank goodness, no weather and all that. Like very easy flight and no travel delays. And those are the best because I have been caught so many times lately trying to get home and all these flight delays.
Yeah.
And that is just miserable when you're trying to get home.
Jeffrey's the same way. He has gotten to the point to where he just hates flying.
Yeah.
It's always an issue.
Yeah.
But where you were going, that's a pretty quick flight. It's not too bad.
Yeah. It was great because I'm a Delta gal. I get to where I have certain favorite things.
Yeah.
Especially if I've got layovers and all that. Delta typically goes through Atlanta because they're headquartered there. And, and Atlanta's huge. I mean, for the last 20 years, they've been the busiest airport in the world.
Yeah.
But it's easy for me to
crazy.
navigate. And I think it is because it's fairly easy to get around.
Yeah.
But if you have less than an hour layover, it's not happening. I mean, I have run in that airport more than once.
Yeah.
But this time I flew Southwest and they had a direct flight. And so it was easy on and off. I mean, it was a great experience.
Yeah. I never will book a flight if it's under an hour layover because I just don't trust it, especially if it's in an airport I've never been to.
Yeah.
Atlanta would be tough. I like flying through Dallas because I just know the airport because I've been there so often. So you know exactly where to go to get on the tram and go here. And you kind of learn how long it's going to take. Now, I will say landing in Dallas, it takes you forever to get to your gate.
Do you go to DFW?
Yeah.
Okay, I went to Love.
Oh,
And so
okay.
it's a
I've never gone through
smaller
there.
airport. I've been in DFW plenty of times, but I love
Well, I've not been to that one. Okay.
Yeah, Love Field. It's also in Dallas, but it's just easy get in, get out. I mean, it's obviously larger than our airport.
Yeah.
What isn't?
Right.
But it's great. It's really easy to get around. It's not a big deal, and not too bad driving in and out of there either with a rental car. So
I'll have to maybe try that out.
yeah. So depends on where you're going, but travel can be a real nightmare, and it wrecks your trip.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't mind really going through Atlanta if I've got a connection. I don't like my initial flight from where I take off. I don't like starting off in Atlanta because the going through security and just, even standing in line to get your tickets or to
it's
check your
horrible.
bags. And then those Atlanta employees are rough. Like, they don't mess around. They make me nervous. I don't want to be yelled at by them. I don't want to, I will go through there, but I do not like driving to Atlanta to hop on a flight. So I
Yeah.
haven't done that in a long time.
I've done it, and I don't like it either, and it's rough. And we got there like 3 hours ahead of time and almost missed our flight
That's ridiculous.
because TSA was so bad. But I will say, and this is just me getting off on a rant, this is a PSA for all TSA. Will you make a rule and stick to it? I'm TSA pre-check now, thank God. So I'm able to just get through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But if you're in a busy airport and you're trying to go through TSA and one is screaming at you like you're stupid because you didn't take your laptop out, well, 3 other airports, they're like, no, leave your laptop in your bag. Like, can we get on a page?
Yeah.
Can we get on a page?
Right.
Do I put my phone in the tray, or I
Right.
have to put it in a separate tray? Like, they will yell at you
Mm-hmm.
and act like you're crazy. And I get a pat down almost everywhere I go, and I guess I'm flagged. I don't know. I'm TSA pre-check, didn't have to take my shoes off, got all my stuff, went through, and she goes, ma'am, you've been randomly selected. And I was like, tell me
Right.
something I didn't know. But, I mean,
Well,
whatever.
I understand that they want to get people through because people can be slow and nobody's ever ready to go, and they wait till they get up there before they want to do this and do that. And I'm sure when you have to deal with that all day long,
Yes.
it's annoying, and that's a domino effect.
It
and
is.
It causes the line to go slower. However, I don't really like the yelling and barking orders at people. You know, especially when people are just trying to ask simple questions.
Right.
So, anyway, I don't like going through Atlanta anymore.
Well, that's my pet peeve is, can we please get on the same page?
Yeah.
Are we taking the laptops out, or are we leaving them in the bag? Mm-hmm. What are we doing with our phone? Are we putting it in the same one with the backpack, or are we putting it in a set? Like, they will just give you the rundown.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's my PSA for TSA.
Well, I just recently got my TSA pre-check, so I've only flown one time with it.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a lifesaver, and it is worth the hassle and the money.
Especially if you travel a lot, and where we live, our airport is not that big and that busy. So to me, it's never an issue just to go through the regular line because I've never had a problem getting to my gate on time. In fact, we get there, pretty early. But like I said, if you were going through Atlanta or some of the bigger airports initially, I could see where that would be a huge advantage.
Most of the time, our lines are not bad, but there's a lot of business travel going out of there, like on Monday mornings. I've waited on, I believe it was a Sunday morning I had to leave for a work trip, and I waited an hour and a half in our
Really?
TSA.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never.
So the TSA line was all the way down at the end, like where the check-in
Yeah.
is, ticketing for like Delta.
Wow.
It was crazy. But I think there was a machine down or something, but you never know. You just
Yeah.
can't control, what's going to happen. So,
Well, and I'm one of those where I'm always going to be there the 2 hours early. So I usually don't have to worry about it. But anyway. So did you ever watch Dawson's Creek?
I didn't.
I knew that you were going to tell me that you never watched it because I was like, I have got to talk about this. And I said, I guarantee you, Mandy, never watched Dawson's Creek. I feel like there's a lot of the same shows that we do not watch.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, okay. I used to watch it when it came on in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that you know who Katie Holmes is.
Yes.
And then James Vanderbeek.
Yes.
And then, do you know Josh Jackson? Who
I
was
know
in the show?
I know the name.
Okay.
I would probably know him if I saw him.
His character's name was Pacey. Mm-hmm. And so I loved him in the show. But anyway, I found out over the summer, Katie Holmes is writing and producing a trilogy. So it's called Happy Hours. And she and Josh Jackson are in it. Well, when they were filming Dawson's Creek, they started dating for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think maybe like at the end of season 1 or season 2 and dated like a year or two. But regardless. So when I found out, I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to go back and start watching the Dawson's Creeks again. Because you can stream it and watch all the seasons. So I went back and watched all of season 1. I texted my friend from work and asked if she used to watch it because she and I are always texting each other about Netflix shows or movies or whatever. Like that's our thing is we'll talk about documentaries or whatever kind of show we're watching. So anyway, she had never watched it. She said, well, I'm going to check it out. She texted me back a few days later. She's like, I am so mad at you for making me watch this because I've been watching it for 3 days straight. So she's just like binging through it. And her daughter had walked in and was like, what are you watching? Because this looks old. So you know how when you go back and you watch old shows or movies, just the quality of it it looks like it was made in the 90s.
And the clothes.
Yeah. And so our daughter was like, what are you watching? This looks old. Anyway, let me tell you, this reminded me a lot of when we go back and watch old 80s movies or listen to songs and we're like, what? What were they talking about? And it just like went over our heads in the 80s. Dawson's Creek was so controversial, and I do not remember thinking that at the time when I was watching it. Either I just was naive and immature, which I don't know why I would have been, but I think so much just would go over my head, whether it was in a song or in a show. And in the 90s, I would have been, like when this was out, I would have been in my 20s watching that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd already had a kid. So it's just weird that when, you watch some of these and you think, wow, I don't remember picking up on anything.
Yeah.
Some of it, obviously, I would have, but like some of the underlying comments and storylines, I just don't remember.
Well, now I have
picking
to
up
watch
on
it. Now
Yeah.
I have to.
I don't know. I mean,
In my spare time.
it might not be your thing because I think you like different types of movies and shows than I do. So I did watch all of season 1, but I mean, I'm telling you right off the gate. Remind you, this was in the 90s, okay? Within season 1, they had a student-teacher relationship, which I was shocked. I had forgotten all about that. Like, thinking back on that now, I cannot believe that they would have even put that. I mean, that's gross anyway, and it would be weird to watch today. But like watching that back in the 90s, of course it was Pacey. Pacey was like the bad guy in the show, the troublemaker. And so they had the student-teacher relationship. They had like Michelle Williams was in it. Her character was Jen. She had like a real promiscuous background, and so they would allude to that a lot. She was also an atheist. I don't even know how much like I picked up on that. And then her grandmother was basically kind of like an over the top kind of judgmental Christian grandmother, you know. I'm talking about biracial relationships that were this couple was living together, and then like premarital, pregnancies, like just like all this stuff. And I just remember thinking, I cannot believe that all this was going on in the 90s. And it was just like, it's right over my head, I guess.
Well, and I think on a different vein, but the same vein, Friends. It was so, like, it changed culture so much. Like having 6 friends living together, all up in each other's business, several of them hooking up, and it was just all about their lives in New York and like struggling. But then it introduced a lot of content, like again in the early 90s and mid 90s, when it was talking about these relationships that were cutting edge, I guess, at the time.
Right.
So, homosexual relationships, like with Carol and her wife, and, her leaving Ross, and,
and Ross being married multiple times throughout the show. And it's just, it was a lot.
Same sort of thing. And so I've heard many times from people that Friends changed the culture, and they really did.
I don't know if I thought this so much at the time, but for Friends, I think it was maybe a little later on when I would go back and maybe watch the later seasons or like reruns, thinking, gosh, that seems so fun. To be able, because that wasn't my life. I didn't, there was a year where I did have a roommate, but for the most part, I had a child. I was either living at home or, was married or, this and that. And so I never really got to have that, which is fine now. But just at the time, I remember thinking that would have been kind of cool to just be able to live with your friends and, have all of these life experiences with these people to look back on.
Yeah.
You know.
We would have been a force
Oh my gosh.
had we both done things differently.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny to look back on that and think about those times and how the world was.
Yeah. And I did have a roommate for a couple of years, and we're still in touch.
Yeah.
Shout out. Hey, I know you're listening. But we lived together for a couple of years. We dated brothers. We had a great time. And, I just saw her recently.
Yeah, I thought so.
But anyway, it was a fun time, but it wasn't like the Friends experience.
Yeah.
We're like living in New York.
Right.
And I think there's something to be said for people stepping out, which they were in the show. They were all from the New York area.
Yeah.
But I think there's something to be said, like when you're really young, to move off and go to some big adventure, go to some big city, whatever, before you have children, before you get married, all those things before you're tied down.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to kind of spread your wings.
Well, and Dawson's Creek was set in North Carolina, kind of on, I don't know if it would have been like the Outer Banks or whatever.
Right.
So back then, I would assume that might have been a conservative type area to live. What's funny, and another thing that I thought about when I was watching that, because I was so obsessed with Pacey, who was Josh Jackson's character. I just had the biggest crush on him and was attracted to like him in the show. And then you've got Dawson, who was, the good guy, treated girls well, had good manners. That's another thing. His mom was having an affair. So that was another controversial thing that was going on in season 1. But he was like the good guy. He was the one that respected girls. He was kind of naive, but he was endearing. And I just was always like, he's all right.
Yeah.
But Pacey, who was always getting in trouble and not making good choices and sleeping around with the teacher and like that sort of thing. It's funny to look at it now and think, oh my gosh, Dawson was like so endearing. Like, why would I have not been attracted to that character, watching it on TV? Why was I more pulled towards Pacey and his character?
Yeah. Well, number 1, young and stupid.
Yes.
Number 2, young and stupid. Number 3, that was the way the character was written. They did that for a reason, to try to, I'm sure they gave him some wonderful qualities or something that sparked. But, when you're immature and you make dumb decisions, I think we both have made our fair share of looking at people the wrong way.
I don't know what it was about the character. And I know like I'm going really deep with this, but it is something that made me think. Like, what was it about him acting like an idiot all the time? Did I just think he was cute? Did I think he was cuter? Josh Jackson was cuter than James Vanderbeek. Like, what was it? And is that all that I was really more pulled towards versus a personality? And
Right.
like Jen's character, or Michelle Williams' character, Jen, couldn't stand her in the show.
Yeah.
Could not stand her. But watching it back now as a 50-year-old, like, my heart hurts for her. And I like her better now. So it's just weird how things evolve the older that you get.
And your perspective
Yes.
about a lot of things.
Yes.
So James Vanderbeek, he's the one who's very ill right
Yes.
now with cancer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a photo. I mean, I've never watched the show, but I know who he is.
Yeah.
And I saw a picture of him, and God bless him. He looked very, very ill.
I was shocked. My friend and I were talking about that last night at dinner. And he was on Dancing with the Stars a couple of years ago. And what you saw him on, that picture that you saw of him, I think he had maybe like zoomed in on a, I don't want to call it a screening, but like the cast of Dawson's Creek all got together for a reunion and they reread the pilot episode. So he was supposed to be there for that. And I had read that he was too sick the day before and couldn't make it. I don't know if it was a bad angle or if that's just how he looks now, if he's just lost a lot of weight. But
I think he has.
He looked really, really thin.
Yeah. Again, to bring up, I haven't seen Dawson's Creek, but to bring up the parallel of Friends, they had a reunion, and Chandler, Matthew Perry, and he barely spoke 2 or 3 words on the reunion episode. They said he had had dental work or something like that, when really I think he was back addicted and he had struggled with his addiction. I haven't read his book, but I would love to.
I read it. It's really good.
Well, I need to read it, but after that, he was gone not too long after.
Yeah.
And so, it's just crazy how I think perspective wise, like your perspective changes on people and on situations and all of that. But also, I think it's very interesting that we as a public look at certain stars and think they have it all together and all those things, and they're not immune to cancer, to addiction,
right,
to marital troubles. You mentioned Katie Holmes. I mean, she was married to Tom Cruise. I mean, they were Tomcat. That was like a really big deal, very high profile couple. And so it's funny how they are not immune to the same issues that we have.
Well, James Van Der Beek, I think, is only 48, so he's younger than us.
Yeah.
You just never know. But he's such a nice guy. And he was super nice when he was on Dancing with the Stars. Just a really good person. I'm kind of all over the place with it. But it's been really interesting to go back and watch that show. In later seasons of that show, there's a lot more that I remember that happens. So I think it was just one of those shows that really talked about a lot of important things. And I just didn't get it.
I'm going to have to watch it now.
So you're probably going to think it's cheesy.
That's okay.
Because, again, it is the 90s, but it's just real, I don't know, nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
Certain shows, because it puts me back in a certain time in my life. So speaking of the 90s, there was something else my friends and I were talking about. When we were kind of going through all of our 90s memories, I don't know if you noticed in my bathroom, on my piece of furniture in there, I've got like all of my Love Spell.
Oh, no.
Do you remember Love Spell?
I do.
Okay. It got discontinued a few years back, and I saved every bit of what I had. I've still got Love Spell lotion, body mist, like body cream, all of it. And I stopped using it for a while because it was like I didn't want it to go away. But anyway, we started talking about old 90s scents. So, of course, it was like Bath and Body Works. I was like, I always wore cucumber melon.
Yes. And sunflower.
Well, sunflowers was Elizabeth Arden.
Is Elizabeth Arden. I was about to say Estee Lauder.
It was very 90s because I remember a lady that I worked with. She walked by me and I was just like, oh my gosh, what is that scent? And I was like, what are you wearing? She said sunflowers. I went, but I've still got sunflowers in my bathroom. So the sunflowers was very 90s that I loved. Of course, she said she wore sun-ripened raspberry.
Yes.
I don't ever remember that.
I had sweet pea.
Sweet pea. That is the other one I could not think of.
I had that body wash. And then I had some of the lotion. I had some of the cucumber melon.
Plumeria.
I'm in there. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Plumeria?
I'm in there mixed. I smelled like a fruit salad when I came out of my bathroom.
Yes.
But, I thought I was smelling good.
Yes.
Baby Soft when we were like in middle school.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. And it would make me gag right now if I smelled it.
But I do not remember sun-ripened raspberry.
Oh, yes.
She said she wore it all the time.
I did.
I don't remember that one.
But
when I was thinking of all the scents, I was like, I know there's one, and I remember like thinking it was like a purplish thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe it was the plumeria that I was thinking of, but wasn't sweet pea?
It was.
I don't know.
Pink.
Maybe I was thinking of my Love Spell.
Sweet pea was pink.
Yes. Oh, sweet pea.
Yes. And I had it, and I had the spray, and then I had Cotton Fresh.
I don't remember
I
that.
love that lotion. Oh yeah, it is crazy. And then
So
you
funny.
trade it in for different,
Yeah.
Joe Malone or whatever now. But anyway,
Well, I don't remember why I would have still had so much in my 40s. Well, where they were going to discontinue it. I don't know if maybe I ordered some real quick or what, but anyway, I've got a ton of it back there. I've got all of that and my sunflowers. And
Well-
so I put some on after I watched Dawson's Creek.
well, I wear a specific scent. Now I've got several scents, but this is one that I prefer and I love. And every time I wear it, I get compliments. And I can barely find it anymore. It's Narcisco Rodriguez for her. And so there's two different bottles. There's like a pink one and a black one, and I love the black. And it's getting harder and harder and harder to find. Like Saks Fifth Avenue used to carry it. They don't have it anymore. Like I've checked Macy's, I've checked everywhere. And
I will wear that around the house. If I go out somewhere, I mean, I would wear it, but I usually just save it for here. I don't know why I got a ton of it. But my perfume that I wear is Flower Bomb.
yes,
By Victor and Rolf, I think is the name of
I
it.
have some of that. I love it.
I have worn it, gosh, for how long now? At least 2 years.
It smells really
Maybe
good
longer.
on you.
Thank you. I get compliments on it all the time. And believe it or not, I have never gotten compliments on any kind of scent that I wear. I mean, the Bath and Body Works stuff, that everybody was wearing that, so it was just kind of like that's just what
Normal.
people wear. So people weren't really going to comment on it that much, but I've never really had a perfume that I liked that I have worn this long or that lasted long. Mm-hmm. And never have I ever had compliments on a perfume until I started buying that, and people always ask me about it. I love it.
I have some of that, and then I have a dupe. It's not the real, but I have a dupe for the Baccarat 540, and I like it. But I don't think it smells great on me. There's some
Yeah.
scents that smell really good, and they just don't smell
Right.
great on you.
Right.
I like it on me, but it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's kind of strong. But there are so many fun little perfumes. I shouldn't even get started on this topic because I'll just continue to talk about it. But at TJ Maxx, like not
Oh,
even
yeah.
the nice stuff, but if you just go over to their fragrance and you can smell all the different ones, they have some very unique, interesting ones. And I like the new Joe Malone too, but it's expensive.
I think TJ Maxx still sells sunflowers.
Really?
I think so. I think I have bought some from there. Maybe not. I haven't been to TJ Maxx in a while.
Well-
but yeah, they have a huge variety.
They do, and I think
perfumes.
that sounds like a date for us. We could do a whole
Yes.
afternoon or evening at TJ Maxx smelling
love
stuff,
TJ
come out
Maxx.
smelling like a fruit salad, and then go get margaritas.
I love TJ Maxx.
I do too.
always
It's
love
my
it.
favorite.
Yeah.
Every time I travel, I try to hit one out of
Yeah.
state. I need to start taking a
Oh,
bigger
yeah.
suitcase.
We've talked about that because my friends like to do that, and I'm always like,
Yes.
y'all, we can do TJ Maxx when
Nope.
we get home.
It's not the same.
See, I just,
It is
but
not.
I go because I love TJ Maxx.
Yeah, it's not the same because they have different stuff at different ones.
Yeah.
So, any of our listeners out there that have like suggestions, like what are your favorite scents?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we want to hear your throwbacks, but we want to hear, like, as a mature
Yeah.
woman, like, what are you wearing? What's everybody wearing now?
I was also trying to think of what my favorite 90s colognes were.
Yes.
Like what I would buy my boyfriend and stuff. And I feel like I would buy, was CK1?
Yeah.
CK1. I don't remember being a big Obsession fan. Maybe I
Drakkar.
was. Drakkar, that is it. That's it.
I loved
I
Drakkar.
totally forgot
My
about that.
7th grade boyfriend had Drakkar on at our school dance, where we're dancing like
Yes.
this. We're like 3 feet in between. Yes, he had on Drakkar.
I forgot.
Polo.
I don't
Remember the Polo green bottle?
Yeah, I feel like Drakkar was definitely it. And then wasn't there one like Cool Waters or Cool Water or something like that?
Yes, but I don't remember what that smelled like, but I could pick Drakkar out of a lineup.
There was one that I had never heard of. And I remember this was in the 90s, but I think it's pronounced Yope or you?
That is my favorite.
That? Okay.
It smells so good.
Yes.
It's Joop for
Yes.
those listening.
Yes.
And it's Yope or Yoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It smells so good.
Because I thought it was obviously Jupe when I saw it.
Oh, I love it.
Because somebody had it on. Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, like, what is that? And I had never heard of it. And I don't know that I know too many people that ever wore it.
Yeah.
But yes, I can't believe you know that. I thought you were going to be like, what?
No, I love
do too.
it. It's probably and it's so cheesy, but it's probably my favorite. I love it. It smells so good. There's something about that kind of that sandalwood undertone,
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. Maybe that's why I like the Narcisco Rodriguez. I love it.
I need to see if you can still buy that and get some from Jeffrey. I feel like I've maybe looked.
Mm-hmm. You can.
You can still get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought some not too long ago.
That's crazy, though, how long some of these perfumes and colognes last. That's decades.
Yeah. That's
Like,
crazy.
you've got a good product if it's still being worn by generations. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe it's just our generation that's
Yeah.
still buying it.
Yeah.
But
I
how
love
funny.
it. It smells so good. It's my favorite.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Well, let us know because we need some mature scents. And people have said Chanel and try, I know there's different scents, but all of the ones that I've smelled, they just do not smell good to me. And I'm not going to wear it if it gives me a headache.
Anytime I Google, like, most popular perfumes, that Chanel #5, is that the name of it? It's always on the list. Mm-hmm. I've gone and smelled it in the stores, and I mean, I guess I think it's okay, but nothing to me smells better than my flower bomb.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
But like the Baccarat that you're talking about, I got some samples of it. I ordered a bunch of vials, and I didn't really care for it. Again, sometimes it smells different in the vial versus on your body.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you've got 5 or 10 vials that you're ordering and, you just keep smelling them, or you have those cards that you're spraying, it all starts to kind of smell the same. So it gets
It
overwhelming.
does.
So I don't know if I'm a fan of Baccarat or not, really.
I think it's your body chemistry too. Like something might smell really
Yeah.
good on you and it wouldn't on me,
Right.
or vice versa. And there's just you just have to really try it. Like that's why I don't like to go buy a big bottle of anything.
Right.
I want to get some kind of sample or a little roller or
Right.
something to try to see if I'm going to be able to tolerate it,
Yeah.
because I don't want it to give me a headache and
Yeah.
just be so overwhelming throughout the day. But there's so many good perfumes out now, and like I said, Joe Malone, I just went and smelled a ton of those, and I love it. It's just I'm not spending that much for that small of a bottle.
Yeah.
Not when I'm not sure that I'm gonna love it.
Right. Well, I recently did that for my youngest when we were trying to pick out cologne for him. We went in the store. Oh my gosh. We were in there probably 30 minutes and he just kept spraying. And I was like, it's getting overwhelming. Pick out some that you like and I'll order some samples. And then, when they come in, you could try them on. So I ended up ordering like 10 different samples. And every day he would wear something new. So I thought, if you don't like it on you, or maybe if you don't get compliments on it during the day, toss it aside, and then we'll just keep narrowing it down. So that's what we did. So he wore different colognes for like 2 weeks, and then I got him what he wanted.
So he found one
Yeah, he
that
found
he
one.
liked.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very weird about scents, which again, you wouldn't think after being in the 90s, like covered in those Bath and Body Works.
And burning all kinds of
know.
candles.
Oh my gosh. But it's just certain scents, I think, on me that are really strong and overwhelming. It gives me a headache.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to be miserable. And when I fly a lot, I don't really wear perfume.
Right.
Because I don't want to be just completely overwhelming and wafting everywhere.
Right.
But, you can't help but have a scent if you're showering and putting on lotion or deodorant or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have a smell. I get tons of compliments on my Narcisco, so I'm going to be really upset if he quits making it. I'm going to have to order like 20 bottles of that.
You'll have to text me the name of it so I
Yes.
can look it up later.
Yeah, it smells amazing. Well, we want to hear some suggestions, and we want to hear what you guys wore in the 90s because we need to compare notes. So We'll see you next week.
I've got to go through that box again that I was texting you about over the summer when I was cleaning out boxes and found just a ton of letters and cards and pictures and, maybe bring some stuff out and, show it on camera for everybody to see. A few things, not everything.
We need to do another favorites.
Yeah, we do.
Episode because, there's so much stuff that I'm a fan of lately.
Well, and that's just fun to do.
It is.
It's just fun little facts that you get to know. And it brings up memories too, or it makes you think about things that you haven't thought in forever.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, we'll have to do that.
All right. Well, we're out of time and out of margs.
That's right.
So we'll see you next week.
Y'all have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.